Hello again, guys. This is Andrew Wright with another Review the Right Thing. I hope everybody is staying inside and staying safe. Positive vibes go out to everybody who's watching these. Up until this point, I've basically just been talking about reviews on certain films. I've been diving into the specs of them, picture quality, audio quality, special features. With figures, I've been kind of diving into the articulation, showing you some pictures, that kind of thing. So with music, obviously I've been talking about themes, if I like the album, that kind of thing. So today let's do something a little bit different. Let's talk about the things that I'm buying. With us being in quarantine, a lot of things that I normally would have just bought at work, would have just kind of waited for them to pop in one day because I don't do a whole lot of online shopping. Now I'm forced to do a little bit more online shopping. So I recently ordered through Best Buy the new Quiet Place 4K Steelbook that Mondo put out. And if you guys aren't familiar with Mondo, they are a poster company, Mondo Tees. So I think they kind of started doing a little bit of tees too at the beginning. I didn't start following them until they kind of started doing more posters, so I'm not sure where they exactly started. However, you can get on their site. They're really cool. They do a lot of music now as well. But like I said, basically started on posters. I have one poster in my collection, a Cannibal Holocaust one. A lot of their stuff is just lithograph screen prints, limited numbers, done by specific artists. They're really cool. Kind of expensive, but they're pretty awesome. And if you like to collect things, it's just something neat to have in the collection. So anyways, back to the Steelbook I bought yesterday was for A Quiet Place. It was a 4K Steelbook through Mondo. They have a line called Mondo X Steelbooks, and basically different retailers would have different rights to different films that they've released. Basically whatever they've purchased the licensing for. So it's various films. Anyways, some retailers are overseas. So like Best Buy Italy or Best Buy Canada, Target USA, Zavi UK. These different places have different exclusives. And so I've gotten my hands on a few of them. There's about 38 of them in the actual line of the Mondo X. It would seem they've done one exclusive for Target that's not part of the Mondo X line, but it is a Mondo Steelbook. So let's pull these out. So I have some of my collection sectioned out by studio. As you can see, I have some Twilight Time titles right here, as well as all my Mondo Steelbooks here. A couple here at the end, and we're going to pull those out and talk about them. Unfortunately, this is how the storage goes, because I spend my money on my collection and not building shelves. Alright, now I've got my stack of Steelbooks. And if you guys follow me on Instagram at Review the Right Thing, you can see different things I post throughout the day. Just different things in my collection. I usually give a little brief what year they were released, the director involved, who they star, and then I just hashtag the shit out of it because, you know, it's just kind of a way to get my name out there. And so I really appreciate you guys following me on there too. Check out different parts of my collection, things that I'm not just talking behind a camera and telling you all the things that you don't want to hear. So anyways, let's go through these in alphabetical order. Let's set these. So first we have Mamoru Oshie's Ghost in the Shell. Came out in 1995. This Steelbook was released in 2017. And let's be a little bit closer on the artwork. So it's got some pretty cool art. Open it up. Got my digital code. Pull this disc out. Steelbook also has some pretty awesome artwork on the inside. Disc features very similar artwork with then Major on the inside there. They all come in these really nice, clear, protective covers that then have some artwork and stuff on the back. They have the Mondo Steelbook logo right here. And on the spine, the ones in the X collection, other than, we'll get to the last one, are numbered. So all of these except for one are numbered. We then also have Highlander. Not a great movie. Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert. I definitely don't love this movie, but I definitely enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a cheesy medieval movie with magic, and there can only be one. And it's pretty awesome. So, again, the artwork on the inside. Let's pull this disc out. So it's got the lightning coming down if you've ever seen the movie. Basically, there can only be one Highlander at a time, and it's basically like having the #1 headband if you've ever seen Afro Samurai. So it's pretty awesome. Disc again shows the artwork again. I'm pretty sure this was a Target exclusive. It does say Studio Canal. So this could have been one of the ones that was maybe like a UK exclusive or something. Looper from Rian Johnson. And I think this movie is absolutely fantastic. It was... trying to think, was this my introduction to Rian Johnson? No, because I had definitely seen Brick by the time this came out. So I loved Brick. Brick was my introduction to Rian Johnson. However, then I was introduced to this, and this is also a great movie. Again, the artwork on this is pretty amazing. So you've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis. Can't remember her name, but anyways, it's got like this really awesome like stripe down the center, kind of breaking up the images. It's really cool. It's shiny. Kind of is holographic maybe. No, I think it's just a sheen. There's just some nice shiny parts on it. Back of it features the part, which if you've never seen the movie, I don't want to spoil too much, but this is Bruce Willis's character. And this is the first time that him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt basically cross paths, and it is a pretty awesome moment in the movie. Highly recommend this one. I wasn't saying the numbers. Ghost in the Shell is number 18, Highlander's number 14. This was the first Steelbook in the line. I'm pretty sure the next being Drive, which is also a fantastic movie from Nicholas Winding Refn. I don't have the Steelbook for that, unfortunately. After Looper, we've got Pan's Labyrinth from Guillermo del Toro. Also a fantastic movie, mixes a lot of fantasy and reality. However, it's probably one of my favorite in his filmography. It's hard for me to choose, though, because everything he's done is pretty fantastic. It's all a little bit different, but he, as I've mentioned in another video, has like nods to gothic horror quite a bit. So his movies aren't vastly different, but they can be a little bit different, but they all have this very overarching gothic theme to them. I don't know why I'm looking at the bottom of the disc. I'll try to pull out the... So again, artwork on the bottom. Really cool. I think the label art on the disc is always pretty awesome as well. Got the back with the fairies from the movie, which he's dripping blood because he eats them. This one was a Best Buy Future Shop exclusive, so it was a Canadian exclusive. I had to, when I was in a forum or like a group on Facebook, I was able to have somebody get one for me because Best Buy Future Shop does not ship to the US, unfortunately. A lot of places will ship from Canada to US, but it's really expensive, unfortunately, even though we're right next door to each other. I think it's probably cheaper to ship, well, no, it's definitely more expensive to ship overseas. But anyways, Canada's expensive, and I feel like it shouldn't be. But, and like I said, a lot of places won't ship to the US, so I had to get somebody else in a group to purchase this for me. And hence the reason I don't have a lot of these, because they're kind of expensive. Some of these already have other Blu-ray releases. And like I said, some of these are exclusive to like overseas, so like Italy or Canada or Germany. There's a lot of them I don't have. There's 38 so far. 39, I think, if you include the one we'll talk about at the end. Quiet Place was the one that I got yesterday, so this is the only 4K of the bunch so far. No, Pet Sematary is also a 4K. They released one last year, which I didn't know about until I was looking up the list because I was kind of curious how close I was to getting these, but that was when I found out that the list has expanded quite a bit, because I thought I had like half. Because I figured 10, I was like, oh, they probably have like 20, 25. No, they have 30 some, you know. Zabi just got a bunch of the Disney ones, which are really cool. So anyways, the red light bulb from the film that leads them to their safety. So that's that. The artwork on the inside is basically, I'm pretty sure, just more. I hate setting my discs like that. So just more lights, basically. We got the 4K and regular Blu-ray in the back. If you guys like these releases, which actually, let me flip this over again. Red light on the front. It does have the farm that they all live on here on the back. If they hear you, they hunt you. I got some corn stalks, the truck. Back is basically their house. More corn stalks, trees. It's really pretty artwork. And so, by the way, if you guys are interested in these, most of the time, if you already have like another release of the movie, get rid of it somewhere. You know, if you don't have a place around you that you can sell stuff to, there's an online thing called Declutter. They don't give you a shit, but if it's a matter of either doubling up on something and running out of space quickly, or just getting rid of it and getting whatever few cents you can out of it, that's totally up to you. But these do typically have the same features and everything else that the other releases up to this point would have. They don't ever do anything additional. It's basically just about the packaging and the collectability. Otherwise, this has the exact same 4K disc, and the Blu-ray disc has all the special features just like the standard release did. Next, we got Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, his first film. I love this movie as well. I don't know how you couldn't. Definitely not my favorite in the bunch. And I might go as far as saying my least favorite in the bunch, but I'd have to kind of ponder that for a minute. But anyways, that doesn't make it a bad movie. Obviously, this is a classic. Anyways, the artwork on the front features all the characters. We've got basically like mug shots, almost like animated mug shots of the different characters up top. Some action sequence, different characters in different poses on the front, animated. Really cool artwork on this one. The back again, different artwork then. Also some more kind of animated mug shots on the bottom here. We got a razor blade. Inside then, artwork on the disc is pretty much similar to most artwork from the DVDs, except for, again, it's animated, you know, so it's just basically like a silhouette almost type of thing of all the guys. Reservoir Dogs in big red lettering. Pan's Labyrinth was number 4, so it was another early release. Quiet Place being one of the more recent ones, number 38. Reservoir Dogs again, an earlier one at 13. So then next we've got Edgar Wright's Shaun of the Dead. Obviously a classic if you like zombie films. Also, Edgar Wright just brings something different. I love his films. I think they're so funny. They're so well done. Especially Baby Driver, the way he edits that movie to go along with the music is just one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. So anyways, some more animated art. And so it's just different zombies. Obviously got Nick Frost and Simon Pegg on the front there. Inside features their characters. Back is some beer, since they love to go to the pub. And this one's number 7, so again, another early one. And that's one of the things that kind of sucks, you know, about kind of collecting all this stuff is I'm always trying to track down, like, the best-looking version. So, obviously, Blu-ray was a huge step up from DVD. It gets you even closer to that feeling of being there while they're filming it almost, which is, you know, when the director's shooting that in the camera, you're getting what he is seeing right there in front of him. And I feel like with all these releases, they're compressed. You know, you don't get the full version. And so 4K is bringing us that, step closer. And so this is now available on 4K, but I can't get rid of the Steelbook because I collect the Mondo Steelbooks. So I don't like to double dip in releases, but occasionally you have to. I especially don't like to normally keep 2 releases because I already have, like, between DVD and Blu-ray, like 1,800 movies. I have like 4,500 CDs. I have a ton of toys. I don't have room for this. I have a pretty small room. A lot of stuff is still packed up. I have a decent-sized house, but, you know, it's not a decent-sized house. We have a humble home. And so I don't have a ton of room in this house. I can't just devote multiple bedrooms to my collection, so it's kind of, you know, neatly compact into this room. And some of it, like I said, isn't even displayed. Eventually I'll build shelves and I'll maybe have more room to show off everything, and then we can do more of a, you know, bam, here's my Blu-rays. It'll be in a huge section. Next up, release number 8 is John Carpenter's The Thing, which is definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I enjoyed that movie a lot when I was younger. However, I kind of stumbled upon it again when the Blu-ray was first released. And I was like, yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this movie. My dad's a big Halloween buff. Like, he loved Halloween. It's one of his favorite horror films. So I grew up on Halloween. Michael Myers was always like one of my favorite, of the slasher killers. And so this movie was very special to me when it came out. I enjoyed it a lot. And when I bought the Blu-ray, I was blown away. Like, still to this day, that is probably one of the best restorations. And Scream Factory even took it a little bit notch further than the original, I think, 20th Century Fox, maybe, Blu-ray release. Whoever released the original Blu-ray release. So Scream Factory's picture was even a little bit better than that. That movie looks like it was made yesterday, and the effects are incredible. It's got traditional effects, which I love. I don't really care for CGI. If it's done well and it's mixed with practical effects, it can be pretty good. But otherwise, I would pretty much stand by, practical effects more. So I just think they look better, they look way cooler. Somebody took the time to build that, it's amazing. So anyways, the thing has some of the best practical effects probably ever. And so this Steelbook is basically the alien monster thing, no pun intended. Inside is then, when it goes in between victims, there's like this stringy like blood veins that pull you in with. It's crazy. And then it morphs into versions of whatever it grabbed. Animals, humans, anything. Back then is Kurt Russell's badass. Again, the Mondo Steelbook thing on the front here. Sometimes it's obviously down the spine. I showed you on the one. And this is the last in the Mondo X line that I have. Another Best Buy exclusive. Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And another one of my favorite movies of all time. I think this movie has so much more to offer than just being a cheesy 80s action movie. I think it really makes you think at the end. I actually hired a guy based on this because I'm a manager at the store that I work for, and we were talking about movies. And I asked him his opinion of the end, and he said, well, this is what I think. And I was like, yeah, I like you. You're hired. So it's just kind of a funny thing. And so the artwork on the front is Mars, some ships, another planet off to the distance. It's all in red. Looks really beautiful. Mountain range in the background. This is from the hallucination that then Arnold, goes through, where he thinks he's out on Mars and his mask explodes and he starts suffocating. But that's him and his another girl character that's not his wife. But I'm not going to give away too much if you've never seen this. And if nobody's ever seen this, this is definitely a much watch sci-fi action movie. It's pretty incredible, and Arnold's a badass. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, who also did RoboCop. And he's not done a ton of great stuff. He also did Starship Troopers. But then he's also done like Showgirls and a bunch of other stuff that's not as important. But his early filmography is all pretty amazing. He did a movie called The Fourth Man, I think is what it's called. Great film as well. Anyways, Total Recall, must have. And last but not least, True Detective. Probably one of my favorite seasons of any television series of all time. However, season 2 sucked. I have not seen season 3. Heard a lot of good things about it, so it's something I definitely need to get caught up on. However, season 1 is some of the best television ever written. And it's got Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. They're both amazing. This is one of the ones that isn't numbered. It's not part of the actual Mondo X Steelbook line, but if you go to Target's website or even Blu-ray.com, it'll show you like the sticker, the hype sticker, I guess is what you would call it on these two when it was first released, and it did have the Mondo symbol on it. So just not part of their X line, not numbered, but very similar artwork to previous Mondo releases, so I feel like you can pretty much tell that it's one of theirs. 3 discs on the inside. We got Mr. McConaughey over there on the right. Over here on my left, we got Mr. Harrelson. And I won't give away too much, but it's a murder mystery series. Takes place over a couple generations. Or not generations. That's a long time. Over a couple decades. And it's just so well written. It'll have you on the edge of your seat until the end, until the final episode. And again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing on this channel, click subscribe, click the bell. It'll notify you every time I put up new content. And I'm going to basically just keep doing this for the next month until I go back to work. So you'll see a video pretty often. And once I go back to work, it'll be back to the once or twice a week like I was doing before. But I'm going to take advantage of the time that I have off to spend with you guys. So we'll probably do some more videos on my collection. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go ahead and do so. It's at Review the Right Thing. And I appreciate you guys again. Any comments, look forward to hearing from you. And thanks for watching.